What is up, Light Fam? Welcome to another video. My name is David, your spiritual awakening coach, here to help you through your spiritual awakening. My last video, Spiritual Awakening Loneliness, did very well. So a lot of you guys must really need some help after having had a spiritual awakening, not to feel so lonely. But I did get a lot of messages from people that they've done the self-isolation, the spiritual isolation, they've done the inner work, and now they've reached a high level of spiritual maturity, and now they can't find anyone that is on their spiritual level romantically. So now I'm getting messages like, has the universe destined me to be alone? And what do I do if I can't, meet a partner that is also spiritually evolved? So I know that this is something that a lot of you guys must need. So this adds a nice little extra caveat to spiritual awakening loneliness. This will be part 2 to spiritual awakening loneliness, or are you feeling lonely after a spiritual awakening? Hadn't figured out the title. I just pressed record. So but let's get into today's video. Are you feeling lonely after a spiritual awakening? Right now, let's go. Loneliness after a spiritual awakening. So a lot of the messages that I get will say, now that I'm speaking my authentic truth, this is actually too much for a lot of the people that I'm meeting. Or some men are very put off by a woman that speaks her truth. Or am I going to be able to find someone that respects my boundaries now that I'm actually defending them? Or I'm so spiritual and so high vibe, sometimes my energy is too much for other people. Am I destined to be lonely? Does the universe, want me to be lonely but spiritually awake? So if we really stop and break this down, where is all of this happening? In your mind, right? This is the ego. This is the energetic house of divine masculine energy. You're very much in your masculine energy right now. Now, if you watch my last video on divine feminine energy, I talked about how if you have too much divine masculine energy hogging up all of your energetic space, there's no space for the divine feminine energy, which is presence, which is the heart space. The heart is the energetic house of the divine feminine. So get out of your head and get into your heart. Get into that divine feminine energy and ask your heart, do you believe the universe can orchestrate you meeting someone who is just right for you? Someone that complements what you are needing in a relationship. Someone that doesn't think that you're too much. Someone that loves your high energy. Someone that loves your authenticity. Someone that loves your new higher level of higher consciousness, basically. And if your heart says yes, then you can tell the mind to calm down. So, one, get out of your head, get out of that masculine energy. Remember, masculine energy is not attractor energy. Masculine energy is go out and get energy. Divine feminine energy is attractor energy. So when you're asking questions about attraction, you don't want to be thinking masculine energy. You want to get into your heart and ask, is it possible to attract what you're looking for? That's attractor energy. You got to get into the divine feminine, get into your heart. And then I'll get these questions about, does the universe have me destined to be alone so that I can just keep growing spiritually, but be lonely? So you have to get out of the concept that the universe is something completely different than you, that has a completely different plan for you that you have no say over or nothing to do with. You are the universe having a physical experience. This is what you agreed to forget after incarnating so that you can learn through living through the contrast. So in other words, you're remembering that you are the universe, living through the contrast of not being the universe. This is called gnosis, gaining knowledge through experience. So once you step into the mindset that you are the universe and you'll attract whatever the heck it is you want to attract, there's not some thing saying, oh no, you're not destined to attract that. I'm not going to give that to you. No, you make your own life. Life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So it's your subconscious identity that determines what it is, not your logical identity, your subconscious identity. And if you subconsciously identify as the universe having a physical experience, you decide what it is you're going to live and attract in your life. Loneliness after a spiritual awakening. So if you have done the self-isolation and you've done the inner work, pat yourself on the back. A lot of people are not brave enough to self-isolate, just to work on themselves. A lot of people are scared to be alone, and they will look for any relationship that doesn't serve their highest good, just so that they don't have to be by themselves, just so that they don't have to be alone. And then they bypass doing the inner work, which means they're bypassing being their greatest version, where they are living a life of happiness and fulfillment and freedom and love. So kudos to you. You've done the hardest part, the scariest part. But now what you want to do is you want to change your expectations of what the universe is going to bring you. So let's get out of, am I destined to be alone, and switch that to, you give thanks that the universe has already brought your perfect counterpart to you. So if you identify as your dominant frequency is divine masculine, the universe has already brought that divine feminine. If your dominant frequency is divine feminine, then the universe has brought that divine masculine. Again, this has nothing to do with gender. These are energetic signatures that complement one another. And why wouldn't the universe be able? There's 7 billion people on this planet. You don't think the universe can bring your perfect match to you? Of course. Why? Because everything is energy, like attracts like. So, but you've got to put the expectation out there. Now, in regards to like attracts like, the universe is going to bring you what you believe you are worth. Let me say that again. The universe is going to bring you what you believe you are worth, not what you want. Trigger warning, this is going to upset a lot of people, but when you attract toxic people romantically, you don't know your worth. You can unsub, you can dislike, I don't care. I'm standing by that statement. This pisses a lot of people off. But if you've attracted toxic people in a romantic relationship, you don't know your worth. And this is why it's so important to do the shadow work, because someone that knows their worth isn't even going to give a toxic person a chance. As soon as that toxicity shows up, get that out of my energetic frequency, whatever, you know what I mean? So someone that is healed is standing in their power, and they're not putting up with shenanigans. And so if you are putting up with shenanigans, especially toxicity and abuse, you don't know your work. No judgment. It just means that you need to do the work. You need to do the inner healing. So do the inner healing, and the universe will match you with what you believe you are worth. Now, here's the second thing. Do you have room for your perfect match? Have you made room? Have you chosen one side of the bed to sleep on so that your perfect match has the other side of the bed? Have you made space in your closet for when that perfect divine counterpart comes into your life and moves in? Have you made space in the driveway for that perfect counterpart that comes in? So you've got to expect that your perfect counterpart will come in. Give thanks that that perfect counterpart has already been presented to you. That's how I like to do it. When you think about the past tense, the brain just stamps it as done. We don't have to get into deserving. We don't have to get into worthiness. We don't have to get into the hows. The hows are the domain of the universe. Let the universe figure out the hows. You just give thanks that it's already done, and then you make space for it. Do the shadow work so that what you're brought is in alignment with your self-worth. You and I both know, listen, your source having a physical experience, you couldn't be more valuable. You're invaluable, but you have to know that, and you have to know it on a subconscious level, which means you have to heal the trauma that keeps you blind to that fact. Loneliness after a spiritual awakening. You want to sink into that heart space and identify as whole and complete. Why would you be whole and complete? Because you are Source having a physical experience. Of course, Source is whole and complete, right? You're just Source in this physical avatar for a minute. So if you deeply understand that, then you're going to attract someone who also feels whole and complete. What happens when you attract someone that feels whole and complete? Well, they don't feel like they need to get anything from you. So you're able to share the same space with someone of a like vibration that isn't trying to get something or to take advantage of you. You guys are just flourishing and it's expressing in each other's space in a state of non-resistance because there's no sense of lack. You also want to identify as the physical embodiment of love itself. Love is the dominant frequency of Source. Love is your spiritual DNA. So of course, you're the physical embodiment of love itself. And then you're able to just share the same space effortlessly with another aspect of yourself. You want to be the person that you want to share the same space with. And then it's a vibrational match and it's effortless to share the same space. First, we will do quote of the day, and then we will do question of the day. Here is today's high vibrational quote. Now, question of the day. How do you cure loneliness after a spiritual awakening? I'd love to hear your all's suggestions in the comments below. Also, remember, we've got another Lightways Live this Friday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. Hope to see all of you guys there. I've been having a lot of fun with these things, interacting with you guys in the chat. And until the next time, I'll see all my beautiful light family in the next video. Light, love, and abundance to all that are watching and to all you love. Peace, guys.